Today, we are breaking down what the hell is going on with Six Flags. Also, the wild new Netflix attractions opening later this year, a major rides opening has been delayed, and 2 brand new Halloween Horror Nights houses were revealed. Plus, I've got a lightning round of news stories you won't want to miss. It is a jammed-packed episode today, so sit back and enjoy the ride. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Trying something different with a little bit of a cold open before the little theme song segment. That's right, guys. We've got so many stories to cover today. All of them are super interesting, too. I'm really stoked for today's episode. It's jam-packed. We're going to start off with something a little bit different than we're used to. Usually we just talk about Universal and Disney as our top stories. But today's top story will actually be about Six Flags and the Cedar Fair merger and the current state of the company right now. Spoiler alert, not doing too good. But yeah, it's actually a really interesting story. If you're not up to date with what's been going on with Six Flags, I do think you're going to like that one. It's also my birthday today, actually. Just wanted to throw that out there. Today is my birthday. I did not plan to record an episode on my birthday. It just kind of happened that way. So yeah, what better way to be celebrating my birthday than here recording an episode of a Theme Park podcast for all of you. Really, really happy to be here. And I did want to take a quick moment to thank our returning listeners. We actually have some returning listeners. Been doing the podcast now for just about 4 weeks. Here we are with episode 8. And we do have some returning listeners, but I was looking at the analytics on both podcast platforms and YouTube. There's a little group forming. We've got a little bit of an army forming that is returning listeners to the podcast. So just want to let you guys know that means the world to me. That's all I ever wanted, was just a couple of people to listen to what the hell I have to say. So anything after this is just the cherry on top, literally. So thank you guys. Thank you for supporting a small creator. It means the world to me. You guys are rocking with me from the ground level here, right from the very beginning. So shout out to you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. But yeah, there is so much to get into. Just checking on the old battery there on the recorder. As you can see, I'm still recording like an absolute amateur. If you were with me on the first episode or two, you would know that this podcast setup is basically fucking sticks and wires taped together here to pull off this show. Soon I will be leveling up the podcast equipment here, the podcast studio. Obviously, this backdrop is hideous. We'll get something better going, but that's not what's important. What is important is theme parks, and specifically today, theme park news. Oh yeah, I did want to just quickly mention, I'm sorry if the audio doesn't sound as good as it usually does. I have my AC running in the background because the Northeast is currently going through a heat wave right now. It is currently like 105 degrees. Let me check on that. Not quite yet. It is 98 degrees according to my app, but by 2 p.m. we will be at 100 degrees. So we're going through a heat wave. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. I love this shit. I really do. I took a 2-hour walk yesterday in the 90-degree weather. It was no problem for me. I mean, I'm ready to go. I've been prepared for that theme park life for a long time now. So going for walks for me, it's just a little bit of a reminder like, yeah, this is what I do. I walk around for hours on end, sweating my balls off and survive and put a big smile on my face while doing so because I love this shit. All right, guys, that's it for me and all my banter for today. Hopefully you're still with me. Enough of me talking absolute bullshit. It's time to get into the news stories of the day. I believe I have 4 big news stories for you today. My goodness, I did the notes for this episode last night. I spent almost, I think it was like 3.5 hours on this. It's 17 pages worth of notes. Don't click out just yet. It's because the text is really, really big, so I can read it nice and easy while I'm recording. But still, 17 pages worth of text, of notes, of some news stories. It's just absolutely insane. I think the episodes come out so much better when I take my time with the notes. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm really stoked for today's episode. Like I said, I took my time with this, but it's time to dive in. I do have 4 big stories, and then we've got the Express Lane, my new segment, the Express Lane, where I'll be quickly going over headlines that I didn't have time to dive deeper into. We'll get into all of that. But let's jump into story number 1, the state of Six Flags. Six Flags has been on a downward spiral for years, and even merging with Cedar Fair hasn't stopped the bleeding. Let's rewind back to 2009. Six Flags filed for bankruptcy. Fast forward to 2020, the pandemic hits. Parks then shut down, and they had to take on a mountain of debt just to stay alive. Then, in the dumbest move ever, after the world opened back up, they decided to raise tickets while just maintaining the same old Six Flags experience. It's not like they had a major update or a rebrand to the parks or something epic like that. They just randomly had a huge price increase out of nowhere. Well, that blew up in their face. Attendance tanked, revenue nosedived, and things got bad really fast. Enter Cedar Fair. Their top rival, who had been outperforming them for years, decided to step in. The two companies merged in 2024 to form a mega regional park empire under the Six Flags name. The goal? Combine forces, pool debt, cut costs, and become more financially stable. Problem is, despite Cedar Fair having their shit together, or so we thought, things got a lot worse. In 2024, the new Six Flags lost $230 million. Not from overspending. Actually, they cut over $200 million in expenses, but that led to a noticeable drop in guest experience. Worse food, fewer staff, slower operations, and ultimately a loss of over $500 million in revenue compared to the previous year. Those are some brutal numbers. Attendance dropped by 7.2 million guests, and this is throughout all of the parks. The spin from their investor presentation tried to paint a better picture, but their own earnings report shows a much darker reality. They've gone from 60 million guests pre-pandemic to just 41 million in 2024. And now in 2025, they're tracking 8% behind where they were this time last year. Yikes. Together, Six Flags and Cedar Fair are now sitting on nearly $5.3 billion in debt, and it's still growing as I speak. So, what's their master plan, you may be asking yourself? Let's get into it. It seems like they have gone into full panic mode. They closed Kingda Ka, the world's tallest roller coaster, and 6 other rides at Great Adventure with zero notice. And the fans are pissed off. And I just want to say, if you didn't know, Great Adventure is one of the top parks in the Six Flags portfolio. It's the one in New Jersey. It's the one that has like a bunch of roller coasters. Obviously, it had Kingda Ka for over 20 years. It was the biggest coaster, one of the biggest draws for a roller coaster in the world. And yeah, they went full panic mode and they closed it. On top of closing, 7 rides at one of the parks, one of their biggest parks, they have now straight up closed an entire park. Yes, that's right. Six Flags America, located just outside of Washington, D.C., will be closing after this season. Why? Well, for one, it's one of their lowest quality parks in the portfolio. Closing it cuts back on a lot of ongoing expenses. But the real reason is because the plot of land they own outside of DC is worth a lot of money. Land in that area is hard to come by, and they have 500 acres that they could sell. They've also made some major changes to how the company is run. Instead of having a president at each park, they removed those positions entirely and replaced them with regional managers overseeing multiple parks at once. There have also been several other layoffs. 10% of their full-time staff was let go, showing just how deep the cuts are getting for this newly merged company. Not looking good, Six Flags. And then last things that I wrote down for the story. Now they claim they are going to reinvest into bigger and more modern attractions at the other parks. But that takes time and money and trust. And right now, Six Flags is short on all three. Their 5-year projections are, let's just say, ambitious. But hey, if their risky strategy does pay off, they could come out on the other side stronger. If not, we could be talking about another Six Flags bankruptcy in the not so distant future. So that's what I wrote for the main story about Six Flags, but I do have some personal thoughts. Most Six Flags parks feel outdated and stale. Nothing new or exciting. Same old rides, many of which haven't been updated or replaced in years. They're still relying on outdated IP, if any at all, which doesn't draw new interest. And I'll stop there and riff a little bit. When you go to these parks, even if you don't go to these parks, you go to their website, their IP that they have is so outdated. I know there's a lot of superhero fans out there. I know a lot of people love DC. I love DC. A lot of the superheroes like Superman and Batman, they're timeless. Like they're absolutely timeless. They can never be replaced. As far as like superheroes go, it's hard to top Superman and Batman. But in today's age, right, the year 2025, Batman and Superman, I don't care what you say, they're old, they're stale. They've been at the parks now for 25 years. Six Flags could have certainly used some brand new IP to bring brand new life into their theme parks. They could have used that 10 years ago, to be honest with you. I'm not saying you got to get rid of the DC areas, but what I am saying is we don't have to have DC be our number one attraction anymore. Like let's license out some huge IP. If there's got to be something out there that Universal and Disney doesn't have their hands on that they could have invested into, but they never did. They just kept relying on DC and the Warner Brothers, like the Looney Tunes stuff. That's just so outdated. So yeah, outdated IP is one of my biggest pet peeves about Six Flags. The other thing I said was the theming was never a strong point, but now it's painfully obvious as all of the other parks in the world have evolved. So even smaller regional parks have been evolving and investing in themselves and getting better with theming. Yet Six Flags, the biggest theme park company in the country, they fell behind with theming. They really, really have. They have not invested in theming. It's clearly not a priority for them. And I think it's kicking them in the ass because nowadays amusement park fans, theme park fans, they want to feel like they're in an immersive world when they step through those gates. While Disney, Universal, and even SeaWorld are innovating and expanding, Six Flags is regressing. The company seems completely out of touch with modern fans and expectations. Then, the way they handled King Ka closing, that was so disrespectful to loyal fans. And I'm not just saying like your local loyal fans. I'm talking about theme park fans as a whole. Theme park fans from around the whole world. You've got to think about those diehard fans. No warning, no farewell, no chance for riders to say goodbye. Just bulldozed it, wrecked it, and said, peace out, see you later. Actions like that show just how tone deaf management still is, even after the Cedar Fair merger. Maybe they're more tone deaf now than they ever have been before. with this new president, which I'm not going to get into the new president today. So yeah, there's all my personal thoughts on Six Flags. That's what I think. Drop a comment. Let me know, what do you think about the current state of Six Flags and how they're going about everything, from trying to save money to not investing in the right things. Let me know what you think. And then I did want to break into my personal experience with Six Flags New England. This is the biggest theme park by me. It's about 2 hours away from me here in Rhode Island. I've been going to Six Flags New England for years. Well, I stopped 10 years ago, but that's because a lot of it became underwhelming. It became very forgettable for the type of theme park fan that I am. The rides that they opened, all the flat rides, they all seemed like they were all in the same like genre, in the same category. All of them were just super, super crazy intense flat rides that spin you up and down, upside down in circles, going fucking crazy, making you throw up. They must have opened like 10 rides like that in like the last 15 to 20 years. In the last 10 years, things got slightly improved. They refurbished Wicked Cyclone, which is now one of the best coasters in the Northeast. And they did update Superman. They gave it a nice facelift. It runs a lot smoother now. There's some theming to it now. So I will give them credit on Superman, which Superman Ride of Steel is one of the greatest roller coasters in the world. I don't care what you say. So they do have that. That's the one thing that they have going for it right now is Wicked Cyclone and Superman. But after that slight peak when they updated those two rides, not much else exciting stuff has happened until now, or so we thought. Enter Quantum Accelerator. Fans were hyped for Quantum Accelerator, New England's first straddle coaster. The ride has been fully built and testing for weeks. It's even had photo shoots and commercials ready. After months of testing and months of seeing it built, and even the season opening, the ride never opened. This brand new ride never opened. Then finally, Six Flags announced an opening date of June 20th, which was just 4 days ago. However, last minute, they canceled the opening of Quantum Accelerator just a few days ago with no explanation and no new opening date announced. They broke the news that Quantum Accelerator will not be opening on June 20th. This is a huge letdown. This was the big summer attraction that they've been hyping in ads for months. And now it will not be opening. I cannot tell you how much of a bummer that is for us people in the Northeast, us people in New England. We finally had a brand new roller. We still do. It's just not open yet. We finally have a brand new roller coaster, something with new technology. It's the first ever straddle coaster in New England. I think it's the first launch coaster in New England. I could be wrong about that. What else is a launch coaster? I don't think anything else is a launch coaster. Leave a comment. Let me know. I'm probably wrong about that. But yeah, that's a huge, huge letdown. So there you have it. That is story number one, a big, giant Six Flags update for you guys. Like I said, let me know what you think. Drop a comment. What do you think of the state of Six Flags? Story number two, Netflix-themed house attractions update. Netflix is getting into the theme park game, sort of. They just announced the first two Netflix house attractions will be opening later this year. One in Philly and the other in Dallas. These aren't your typical pop-up experiences either. Each one is over 100,000 square feet and they're permanent year-round attractions. The idea is to create immersive worlds based on their biggest hits. Philly will have a Wednesday Eve of the Outcasts experience and a one-piece Quest for the Devil Fruit attraction. Dallas, did I say that right? Devil Fruit? Is that a thing? One Piece Quest for the Devil? I don't watch One Piece. I don't know what any of that is. Devil Fruit. That's interesting. Anyway, Dallas is getting a Stranger Things Escape the Dark and a Squid Games Survive experience. So, looking towards the immediate future, they're expanding to Vegas next. A third house is set to open next year, 2027, on the Vegas Strip. And it's worth noting that this isn't Netflix's first dip into themed entertainment, but it is their boldest move yet in the space. So there you have it. Netflix is opening up 2 themed houses this year, 1 next year in Vegas, based on some of their biggest IP that they've ever had. They already own and have established so much popular ID, like Stranger Things and Squid Games. These are powerful IPs that will draw millions of fans from around the world. And don't get it twisted. I literally mean millions of fans. Stranger Things is fucking huge. One of the biggest IPs to come out in the last 10 years. One of the most successful shows, if not the most successful show on Netflix. Netflix is by far the most successful streaming platform in the world. So that just tells you right there how powerful Stranger Things alone is. Then you pair Stranger Things with Squid Games and you put those experiences in Dallas, Texas. People will be flying to Dallas, Texas for this, no doubt about it. So I'm interested to see what they do, what they create. I'm hoping that they create something so unique, something that's never been done before. I really, really hope they push the envelope and they figure out a way to create a brand new experience for everybody with these new attractions, these new themed houses. I will be paying attention to this and reporting on this on the podcast, so I'll let you guys know. So that was story number 2. Story number 3. I'm really excited about this one. Mack Rides' new rocking boat ride system could change theme parks forever. Let's talk about a game changer in the world of theme park attractions. Mack Rides has just debuted a brand new ride system that could reshape the future of water-based theme park experiences. It's called the Rocking Boat Ride, and it just opened at Parc du Futurescope in France as part of their newest attraction, Mission Bermudas. Now, what makes this ride different? Instead of the boat being fixed directly to a track, it's attached via a flexible, jointed chassis. That means it can sway, rock, accelerate, float, and even move backwards, all while taking sharp turns both in the water and on land. There's even an elevator moment where the ride lifts vertically, creating dynamic movement unlike anything we've seen before in a traditional water ride. It's like a water coaster meets a dark ride. Now, let's get into some technical talk here. Some portions of the ride use LIMs, while others rely on hidden water pumps to drive the boat forward. The whole thing creates this ultra fluid experience that's immersive and totally new. There's onboard audio, light effects, and get this, it's rumored that this very ride system might be adapted for a Creature of the Black Lagoon attraction at Epic Universe. Huge if true. That's all speculation for now, but given how much love Universal has been giving Creature lately, it could likely be what is planned for the Dark Universe expansion. What also stands out is the ride's inclusivity. The minimum height requirement is just 41 inches, and there's no max height or weight restriction. And with a capacity of 1,000 guests per hour, this new ride system is efficient too. Futurescope didn't just focus on thrills, they also leaned into environmental sustainability. The ride reuses filtered water from the nearby Aquascope water park, and the entire surrounding area is filled with native plants that require very little upkeep. It's all part of a larger vision to blend entertainment with environmental consciousness. If you want the full story on this new ride, I really recommend checking out a deep dive from Attractions magazine. They got an early look at the ride and gave a fantastic behind-the-scenes breakdown. And shout out to Attractions Magazine. That is where I got all my information from this brand new ride system opening in France. And hopefully soon, more specifically at Epic Universe for the Creature of the Black Lagoon. So now that I've given you the context, I've pulled up footage of this new ride system in action. So right now I'm pulling up this video and we're going to see this new ride system in action. All right, so we're going to start from right here. Here is the start of it. You load on, you take off from the dock, and you already are whipping through this river area. Look at this thing going. Whipping through the water. Going fast as hell. I've never seen a boat ride move that fast. Skipping through a little bit. Got some theming going on. People watching from a bridge. And then it picks up onto the track. Goes backwards. Looks like it's going to take you high up. Love the fog, by the way. I'm a sucker for some fog. We've got the onboard audio going. What the hell was that? Tree falling on you? Let's see. We've got a tree falling on you. That's cool. A little bit of a waterfall. Boom, taking you backwards now. And then here's the elevator. This ride is a masterpiece. Honestly, this thing is all over the place in the best ways possible. Now we're going up an elevator. It turns you while you're going up. Look at that. Look at the turn. This thing is crazy. Sets you up on the track. Now you've got a roller coaster effect. Nice little drop. A roller coaster drop, but then it goes into water like a log flume would. Look at this. That's a beast of a ride, man. That's a cool ass ride. Shout out to Mack Rides. Absolutely changing the game with this one. This is some footage of the queue, and we've actually got the front row POV. I suggest everybody go to this channel, Amusement Explorer, and watch this full video. You can see the full POV if you guys want. Check it out. We don't have time to watch the whole thing on the show, but go on YouTube, check out that video. Mack Rides coming in with the brand new ride system. If they can make a Creature of the Black Lagoon ride out of this brand new ride system from Mack Rides, it's going to be one for the ages. Epic Universe is already one of the best theme parks in the world. You add something like that in there, my goodness. And the fact that it's going in my favorite portal in the whole park and it's going to become a Creature of the Black Lagoon ride, it'll probably be years before we see this ride opening, because that is a very technically advanced ride. It might be 3 years, 4 or 5 years before we see that thing. But I cannot wait, and I really do hope we get it. Whew. That heat wave, I'm feeling it. Let me tell you right now, I have my AC turned on full blast, and I am still sweating my balls off right now. Let's see if we hit 100 degrees. Nope, we did not hit 100 quite yet. We're still at 98. But my God, it is fucking warm in this motherfucker. All right, story number 4. 2 new Halloween Horror Nights houses revealed. We have our first 2 original house announcements for Halloween Horror Nights. One is spooky and artsy. The other is wild and chaotic. Let's start with El Artista, a Spanish haunting. This house was announced during a panel at Spooky Empire this past Friday night, and it looks like it's going to be one of the major anchors of this year's event. The story centers around a painter named Sergio Navarro in the late 1800s Spain, who is struggling creatively. He moves into a mysterious manor deep in the woods known as the Creation House, which is said to be a haven for tortured artists. But it turns out the place is haunted by the ghosts of previous artists who lived there, and there's a deep evil presence rooted in the manor's conservatory. Sergio begins painting terrifying creatures that actually come to life. These spirits are using his artwork as portals into our world, and when the veil between worlds is at its thinnest, the horror begins. This house will follow the full arc of Sergio's descent from beginning to end, and supposedly his story will influence theming throughout the entire HHN event this year. The creative team clarified, Sergio might not be the icon, at least in the traditional sense. Instead, it sounds like the location, the manor, and the conservatory may be the central theme of this year's event. They've even said the story of HHN this year takes place within this house's narrative, which is kind of a wild concept. We could be walking through his corrupted world across multiple houses and scare zones. Very immersive, very different. El Artista is being designed by Ramon Paradoa, who did Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake, and Blood Moon Dark Offerings. So you already know the vibes are going to be haunting, immersive, and totally next level. Expect a lot of cool ghosts effects, according to Ramon. During the panel at Spook Empire, he teased a brand new effect where ghosts appear to walk straight through a wall right in front of your eyes. That line right there, when he said that, that got me hyped up. I really want to see that. A ghost walking through a wall. If they nail that, if they use some like next level technology like they're teasing, that's going to be one of the coolest things all year to see. Moving to the second house announcement. It's another original, and it's called Hatchet and Chains, and it was announced online yesterday morning. It's a Western-themed sequel house inspired by a room from Slaughter Cinema 2. The basic premise is an old Western town is under attack from lava demons. Yes, I said lava demons. Two bounty hunters named Hatchet and Chains are trying to hold it down while everything is melting around them. It's campy, it's violent, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the second host, Hatchet and Chains. Not a ton of details yet, but if it's anything like Slaughter Cinema lineage, expect blood, gags, and over-the-top kills, plus a tone that mixes humor and horror perfectly. A horror Western house for Halloween Horror Nights. That's what I'm talking about. Love the different types of houses that we're getting this year so far. The different types of houses so far we're getting is really, really cool, and we're just getting started, so can't wait to see what else they come with. All right, well, that is it for my big news stories of the week. Like I said, switching things up. So we did our big news stories of the week where I really break down details of the stories. Next is a brand new segment I'm calling the Express Lane. This will be your quick hit headlines from around theme park world news. These are stories I didn't have time to fully dive into today, but they're still worth knowing about. Some I'll give a little context, others I'll just hit you with the headline. If something grabs your attention, look it up after the episode and dive deeper. So I believe there are like 9 or 10 of these quick hit stories for you. Coming out of Disneyland Paris, Big Thunder Mountain at Disneyland Paris is officially back open after a 6-month refurb. Next one's coming out of Universal Islands of Adventure. The 8th Voyage of Sinbad Theater has been rebranded as a cool zone for guests to chill and cool off in the summer heat. From what I've read and seen in people's vlogs, it's just a section of the old theater that they kind of blocked off and put seating for you. As far as I can tell, there's no fans or like AC or like cooling systems installed or anything like that. It's just you're in the shade, get a seat, and you can stare at the old 8th Voyage of Sinbad Theater, which has not been touched in like over 10 years. So new cooling station at Universal Islands Adventure. Next, quick headline in the express lane for you. Disneyland on Disney Plus. A full lineup of Disneyland POV experiences is coming July 17th for the resort's 70th anniversary. This includes Pirates, Indiana Jones, Haunted Mansion, Incredicoaster, Big Thunder Mountain, Avengers Campus, and much more. So yeah, on Disney Plus, starting on July 17th, they are uploading their own POV experiences of these rides and lands for you to check out yourself. Is this needed? I'm not too sure. There's hundreds of POVs on YouTube, but let's give them a chance. Let's see what they do. Maybe there's something special about these POVs. Next story, Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort is getting a major pool area expansion. Next one, Universal Kids Resort. The new concept art has been released for the upcoming kid-friendly Universal theme park opening in Texas within probably like the next 3 or 4 years, I think is what the estimates are at. So they released new concept art. Looks really nice, looks really colorful. Looks like they've got some bigger attractions and then some smaller attractions as well. We'll be getting more into this kids theme park as bigger updates come out, but I did want to put it on your radar that they did update the concept art if you wanted to check that out. Next one, the ride op photo for Monsters Unchained now features Igor instead of Bride of Frankenstein. And I did want to riff about that a little bit. So Igor has been such a hit at Dark Universe, from the voice actor who did an incredible job for the animations that you see on the ride during like the pre-show, and even like in the line waiting when they do the found footage stuff. That voice actor is incredible. He is so talented, so charismatic, just oozes charisma with that performance from him. And then speaking of oozing charisma, then the actual in-park IRL actors who play Igor that walk around the park, those guys are killing it, no pun intended, absolutely slaying it. People love interacting with Igor. He's so funny. He's so quick and witty. It seems like he never runs out of material. I think it's like 3 of those guys that are playing Igor in the parks. They all do a fantastic job. Yeah, Igor has proven to be a huge hit. He's a viral sensation already with just 2 months of the park being opening. Not even one month since the park officially opened. So yeah, I'm happy to see that Igor is getting more love. They took out, here you can see on the screen, they took out Bride of Frankenstein and put Igor in there. More love for Igor. I'm all about it. I love to see it. And I love to see that they're not getting complacent with this ride, Monsters Unchained. They are still making upgrades to this ride, small upgrades, big upgrades. I'm seeing all the time that people are experiencing different things. And when certain animatronics go down, they're finding new ways to go into B mode. They're constantly, seems like they're constantly tweaking this ride and making it better and better. And I love to hear that because it is my favorite ride of all time now. There's that. I had to break that one down a little bit because it is Monsters Unchained after all. Project 375 equals inclusivity. Universal is retrofitting Epic Universe coasters with larger seats for plus size guests. Already confirmed for Already confirmed for Hiccup's Wing Glider and Dragon Racer Rally. Larger seats have also been seen on site for Stardust Racers. Virginia's King's Dominion has been closed down. A massive water main break shut down the entire park and water park this past weekend. No updates yet on when it will reopen. That is a total summer buzzkill for theme park fans in Virginia. Like I said, no update yet on if this park is going to be able to open up anytime soon, but hopefully they figure that out because that really does suck. And then the last one, new dolphin show at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. A new daily show called So Flippin' Fun is launching at the Toyota Stadium, which just finished a year-long renovation. All right, guys, that was it for the first ever Express Lane segment. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Let me know if it's worth squeezing in quick headlines into the episodes, or if you guys would rather me focus more on adding one or two longer stories in there. Moving on to the next segment, I did want to look at the current status of Epic Universe. In the first couple episodes, I was really diving into Epic Universe and how things were going for its first couple of weeks being open. The park has now been officially open to the public for 1 month. So I did want to go on thrillData.com and look at some of these numbers, look at some of these graphs. We can see that these wait times have only been increasing as the summer starts to really kick into overdrive mode. Kids are officially on school break now, on summer vacation, and you can see that this month things heated up soon as that happened. Soon as the kids went on summer vacation, we are no longer seeing green days here on the chart. We are seeing a lot of red, a lot of orange, not even any yellow anymore. You can even see during the week, Thursday is the most busiest day of the week for this park. So if you're somebody that thinks I'm going to plan a trip and go in the middle of the week and it won't be too bad, think again, because right now these parks are the busiest in the middle of the week, or at least Epic Universe is. So yeah, you can see it's getting crazier and crazier with these wait times. Here's today's wait time heat map. Looks like the most popular ride is Mario Kart, Hiccups Wing Gliders, and Harry Potter. Continuously over 120 minutes each on those rides today. You've got Mario Kart was at 183 this morning at 11 a.m. Telling you right now, it is not worth that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't go on that ride. Don't wait for that ride for 183 minutes. Just not worth it. Wait until it gets a little bit later in the day and then go on it when the wait times have gone down. Hiccups Wing Glider, I think it's a really fantastic roller coaster. It's the sleeper ride of the park, but I think people are starting to wake up a little bit and realize what's going on here. And you can see that today it peaked at 135 minutes. So it is starting. The word is spreading that Hiccups Wing Glider is a really good ride, one of the best rides, and the numbers are showing. Love to see that Monsters Unchained is still a people eater, is still a beast of a ride. Today at 11, it peaked at 48 minutes. Well worth it, especially if you've never been on this ride before. If you've never been on this ride before, I think waiting 2 hours is worth it. But hey, that's just me in my opinion. Yeah, so here is the Epic Universe daily average wait times. And like I was saying, you can see soon as June hit, this thing spiked up completely, and it's only getting higher. We're only getting higher and higher wait times the deeper into the summer we get. We are officially past the days of seeing a lot of yellow and green on these average wait times. You know, average wait times being like 50 minutes or less. We're past that. Most of these rides are at 40 and above, 50 and above, 60 and above. We are officially in peak season for Epic Universe. It's going to be this way for a while, guys. Word is still spreading. There are still millions of people out there who are just finding out about this theme park today and making plans now for going this summer and this fall. Be prepared if you're going to this park. It's busy. It's hot. You're going to wait in line. There's only 13 rides, all right? You're going to be waiting in lines. It's just a given. But if you play your cards right, you can still have an amazing experience, even without getting Express Pass. You just got to do your research, listen to shows like this, go on Facebook forums, go on Reddit, see what people are saying, stay up to date on everything. Use thrillData.com. That is a big tool if you are really trying to avoid long wait times and things like that. Check out Thrill Data, see what the trends are, see what goes on. But yeah, now I'm just talking too much about Epic Universe. We've got to move on. And now it is time for the final segment of the day. This will be where I react to a video going viral or a picture going viral or a news story going viral. I don't have a cool name for it. It's just the reaction segment. And in today's reaction segment, we will be reacting to footage of a guest falling in the water at Living with the Land. I don't know what's going on with Walt Disney World, but I swear lately they have the dumbest park goers in the world. Just the other day, I seen footage of some idiot getting off of the Guardians ride when it was like in a short delay, just got up off the ride and started walking away like it was no big deal. And now yesterday, a video of a guest, I guess, getting out of the boat and falling in the water at Living with the Land came out. So this is coming from WDWNT.com. An Epcot guest dropped their phone on Living with the Land, then fell in the water while trying to retrieve it. Oh my goodness. But if you drop your phone, it's not the end of the world. Get off the ride, let them know, and they'll send it back to you. It's never worth risking your life to get your phone back. You don't know what's in that water. You don't know if you're going to get electrocuted or if you're going to get your fucking foot cut off. Like, you don't know what's on these rides, what's under the water. If you drop something, let it be. It's your fault. Let it be. Get off the ride. Let them know. Hopefully they'll mail it to you in a couple of weeks. And then he jumped back on. What an idiot. So I'm guessing this idiot has been banned for life from Walt Disney World parks. Oh, here's it bigger. There we go. Look at this dumbass. And let's also talk about how he's wearing like an Aladdin vest. Is this Aladdin? Is Aladdin dropping his cell phone on rides? He almost stumbled getting in, by the way. He did stumble. Let's look at this. Ready? Slip, slip. Slip. He slipped like 8 different times. Bro is lucky he landed on the boat and didn't get left behind and run over by the next boat. Let's see what the comments are saying, because that's always fun. Living with the Land turned into living with a lifetime ban. Exactly. Not to mention potentially contaminating all the plants in that area with whatever germs and bacteria were on his shoes and clothes when he kicked all that sand around. Cast members wear booties to limit any exterior germs and bacteria. Somebody left a comment and said, is that Aladdin? So I'm not the only person that thought it looked like Aladdin. That's hilarious. Someone said, as a former cast member who worked in the greenhouse, this is insane. We would have gotten the cell phone out for him with our big grabbers. So there you have it. A former cast member said it wouldn't have even been a problem to get the phone for them. They have some type of grabber thing that they could have easily grabbed the phone for this guy. But no, he had to be an idiot and jump off the fucking boat and risk his life and contaminate the water and fuck up the sand. Dumbass. Dumbass of the week. Maybe we should change this segment to Dumbass of the Week. And I'll just react to all the dumbasses out there. That is all I had planned for today. It was a doozy of an episode for my birthday. Wouldn't want it any other way. Thank you guys for being with me. Thank you for checking out a Theme Park podcast. I'll be back in a couple of days, if not next week, with more news stories and crazy segments for you. Please follow me on social media. We've got the show has its own account. It's at Theme Park Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And then I've got a personal at Frankie Screams with a Z. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube if you haven't yet. And if you're listening on podcast platforms, subscribe to me on there, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon or whatever podcast platform you're listening to me on. Maybe you're like me and you're using ancient technology that nobody even knows about called Podcast Republic. Subscribe to me wherever you are listening to me. Leave a 5-star review too. It would go a long way, especially right now while I'm still such a new creator. And also the show has an email. If you want to email me at themeparkpod@gmail.com, send me an email, ask me a question or make a statement. Maybe I'll read it on the show. I would love to add yet another brand new segment where I respond to some of you guys. But that will do it for me for today. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys in a couple of days. Peace out.